Most people have the wrong financial accounts. Here's what you actually need. Most people have two types of financial accounts: a checking account, which is correct, and a savings account, which is also correct technically in the sense that it is an account and you put savings in it and it earns interest, and nothing about that sentence is false. But 82% of Americans are doing this in the single most expensive way possible, using the savings account their bank gave them at sign-up, which in 2026 pays an average of 0.38% APY, while the exact same deposit at the exact same FDIC insurance at an online bank pays 4.2%. This is not a crime. Nobody is doing anything wrong. The bank simply opened the account for you, put your money in it, started paying you 0.38%, and then used your money to earn significantly more on its own behalf and never scheduled a meeting to discuss whether you were aware of this arrangement. You were not required to be aware of it. You were just required to have the account, which you do, and which is currently earning you 0.38%. In the next 4 minutes, here are the 5 accounts you actually need, what each one does, what's wrong with the default version most people have, and exactly how long it takes to fix. Starting with the one that 82% of Americans are getting wrong right now, today, probably including you. Checking account. You actually have this one right. The checking account is the one you have and the one you should keep. It is a transit hub, not a storage facility. Your paycheck arrives here, your bills leave from here, you transfer out to other accounts from here. The checking account's job is movement, not growth, which is why its interest rate is irrelevant and its convenience is everything. The checking account at your big bank charges you no fees, has no minimum, and lets you access cash at an ATM. The checking account at the financial startup with the turquoise debit card gives you 0.5% cashback, a spending insights dashboard, and a monthly email with a pie chart of your transaction categories that you read once and never think about again. Both are fine. Keep whichever one you have. The checking account is not the problem. Account 1 is correct. This is the only time in this video you will be told something you're doing is right. Enjoy it briefly and move on. High-yield savings account. The 182% are missing. What's wrong? The default savings account from your bank pays 0.01% to 0.38%. APY. Chase, 0.01%. Bank of America, 0.01% to 0.04%. The national average, 0.38%. On $25,000 over 5 years, this earns $476. The high-yield savings account earns 4.0% to 4.2% APY in July 2026 at online banks: Ally, Marcus, SoFi, Wealthfront. Same FDIC insurance as your big bank. Same liquidity. Your money is accessible within 1 to 3 business days. The only difference is overhead. Online banks have less of it and pass the difference to you as a higher rate. On $25,000 over 5 years, the HYSA earns approximately $5,773. The default savings account earns $476. The difference is $5,297. Not from taking any risk, not from making any investment decision, just from changing which institution holds the same money that was already there. The fix. Open an HYSA at Ally, Marcus by Goldman Sachs, or SoFi. Transfer your emergency fund. Takes 11 minutes. The rate does the rest. The people who defend their big bank savings account usually say some version of, "But I like having everything in one place." This is a completely valid preference that costs approximately $5,297 over 5 years. Everything in one place is convenient. Convenient at 0.38% is expensive. This is math, not judgment. 82% of Americans are leaving real money in the gap between 0.38% and 4.2%. The money is not in a risky investment. It is in a different bank. That is the entire migration. Roth IRA. The tax-free account. Most people skip entirely. What's wrong? Most people skip the Roth IRA entirely, or open one after maxing their 401k or confuse it with a traditional IRA. The $7,000 annual contribution limit for 2026 is use it or lose it. Unused space does not roll over to next year. The Roth IRA is a retirement account where your money grows completely tax-free. You contribute after-tax dollars, meaning the government already took its share when you earned the income. Everything that happens after that point, the growth, the compound returns, the decades of index fund performance, none of it is taxed again. When you withdraw in retirement, the IRS is not involved. You already settled. The 2026 contribution limit is $7,000 per year, $8,000 if you're 50 or older. If you earn under $165,000 as a single filer or $246,000 as a married couple, you qualify. The window is annual and non-renewable. If you don't use the 2026 contribution room, it disappears on January 1st, 2027. The fix. Open a Roth IRA at Fidelity, Vanguard, or Schwab. $0 minimum. No account fees. Contribute $7,000 annually. Inside it, buy VOO or VTI. The whole market, one ticker. Takes 15 minutes. The most common reason people don't have a Roth IRA is that they've been meaning to open one since approximately 2021. In the time between meaning to open it and actually opening it, they could have contributed $21,000, 3 years of contribution room, that would now be growing tax-free. The Roth IRA does not send reminder emails. The Roth IRA is just quietly not existing in your portfolio while you mean to do something about it. The Roth IRA's power is in what it doesn't do. It doesn't tax your growth. It doesn't send a 1099 every January. It doesn't exist on April 15th. Open it before the window closes. The window closes every December 31st, whether you opened it or not. Health Savings Account, HSA. The triple tax-free account. Almost nobody talks about. What's wrong? Most HSA holders use theirs as a debit card for current medical expenses, which is the least financially efficient use of an HSA. Spending it immediately treats it like a flex spending account with extra steps. The HSA Health Savings Account is available only if you have a high deductible health plan. If you do, stop and open one immediately because it is the only financial account with 3 simultaneous tax advantages. Contributions reduce your taxable income today, the money grows tax-free inside the account, and withdrawals for qualified medical expenses are tax-free. No other account does all 3. The Roth IRA grows and distributes tax-free, but contributions are after tax. The 401k reduces income now, but withdrawals are taxed. The HSA is the only account where every stage is advantaged. The optimal strategy: contribute to the HSA. Invest it in index funds rather than letting it sit in cash. Pay medical expenses out of pocket and save the receipts. The receipts never expire. In retirement, you withdraw against those receipts tax-free. After age 65, the HSA becomes a traditional IRA. You can withdraw for any reason, taxed as ordinary income. No penalty. The fix: if you have an HDHP, open an HSA at Fidelity, 0 fees, full investment options. 2026 individual limit, $4,300. Family limit, $8,550. Invest in VOO. Do not use it as a debit card. The HSA is the best financial product in America that is named in a way specifically designed to make you think it is just a healthcare administrative account and not a retirement vehicle that has been hiding in plain sight inside your benefits package. The HSA only exists if you have an HDHP. Check your plan. If you have one and don't have an HSA, this is the most underutilized financial advantage available to you in 2026, and it is in your current benefits package waiting to be activated. Taxable brokerage account. The one you open after everything else is maxed. What's wrong? Most people who invest outside their 401k go straight to a taxable brokerage account, Robinhood, Fidelity, Schwab, without first maxing the Roth IRA. This means they are paying tax on returns that could have been sheltered. The taxable account should be last, not first, after tax-advantaged options are maxed. The taxable brokerage account has no contribution limit, no income limit, and no tax advantage. Every year, dividends generate a 1099. Every sale triggers a capital gains event. This is why it is the last account you open, not the first. But after the Roth IRA is maxed and the 401k match is captured, the taxable brokerage is where the rest of your long-term investing goes. No arbitrary contribution ceiling, no rules about what you can own, no restrictions on withdrawal timing. The most flexible investment account available. It just requires paying the tax on gains that your Roth IRA would have sheltered. The fix. Open at Fidelity, Schwab, or Vanguard. Buy VTI or VOO. Hold for the long term. Long-term capital gains rates are lower than short-term. This account is the fifth door you open, not the second. The taxable brokerage is the account that finance YouTubers show in their portfolio screenshots, usually without mentioning that there is a 1099 form arriving every January that is less photogenic than the balance. Open it. Use it. Just open the other four first. The taxable brokerage is not better or worse than the Roth IRA. It is differently taxed. The order, Roth first, brokerage second, is the difference between the IRS taxing your growth and not taxing your growth. Same investment, different tax schedule. Open them in the right order. 5 accounts. One of them, the checking account, you already have, and it is correct. The other 4, most people are either missing entirely or doing in the default version that costs them money over time. The total time to open and configure all 4 missing accounts, the HYSA, the Roth IRA, the HSA, if you qualify, and the taxable brokerage when you're ready, is under 1 hour. Not because the financial system designed it to be easy, because each account is essentially a form, a routing number, and a decision about which index fund to buy. The form does not take long. The decision was already made in this video, VTI or VOO. The filing cabinet from the beginning of this video had 4 drawers of the same account. The 5th drawer, the one that was empty, is the one that does something. 4 accounts, under an hour. The 5th drawer does not stay empty because opening it is hard. It stays empty because nobody scheduled the Tuesday afternoon to do it. This video is the scheduling. The wrong accounts are not a personality type. They are the default. The right accounts are not complicated. They are just different defaults. Change the defaults. 3 things. Drop a comment. How many of these 5 accounts do you currently have set up correctly? Not planning to. Currently, 1 to 5. If this video made you want to open at least 1 account you don't currently have, subscribe and like. The next video goes through exactly how to open each one in the correct order at the specific institutions that have the best rates and fees for each in 2026. Not generic advice. Specific institutions, subscribe so you're there when it drops. Send this to someone who has their salary sitting in a checking account right now because they haven't had time to think about it.